Hello guys, welcome back. This is the second episode about Etna wines, Etna Rosso, so the red ones today. Please, if you didn't watch the first one, watch that first because that there is the introduction to Etna. So about the terroir, all the characteristics and the grapes. Here I will focus only on the wineries and the wines, even because with the rest there is a bit more to talk. And then I want to talk about the vines a bit, old vines, which I didn't mention much before. So for those that don't know me, I'm Christian, so welcome. I hope you will enjoy. So let's get started to this second chapter of the hottest region in Italy nowadays, as I said before, and I'm repeating. We tried three wines, like the whites, all three new to me. As I told you, is an area of small to medium-sized, mostly wineries. Few historical, majority are newcomers in the last decades, even if the history is very long there of winemaking, but was a bit lost last century. And in the last 30 years, there was a renaissance, thanks also to many businessmen. So we had different locations, different vines training, different winemaking, everything different. Federico Graziani, Etna Rosso 2021, Carranco, Etna Rosso, Villa dei Baroni 2020, and Tenuta San Michele, Murgo is the name of the winery, Tenuta San Michele, Etna Rosso 2019. So it's not horizontal, it's different vintages. Some of the famous, like Gracci, that was very successful in the whites, has already 22 vintage, too young. These wines need 3-4 years to be enjoyable. So I prefer to go even for some surprises, possible surprises, anyway, discovery, even for me, because these are all things that I don't know. I heard of Federico Graziani, I didn't hear before of this. And Murgo is a confirmation after the white was so surprising and good, so I wanted to retry again. So the vines, Albarello, so bush is a traditional way on Etna, but on the lower altitudes, 500-600 meters, I show you the maps again, just to remind a bit the shape of crescent moon, and then the northern part, as you can see, the most important for the cruise, so the contrade. So on the lowest altitudes, there are the conventional trainings nowadays in the last decades. So the newer plantations, more concentrated, they can produce more per hectare in that way, and it's easier to handle. But the Albarello is traditional. Only Federico Graziani is doing Albarello. He was Italian best sommelier in '98. He's famous sommelier in Italy and abroad. And in 2006, he bought his first half hectare of an old wine vineyard in Etna. Before he studied, I think, agronomy, he became friends with some guys, so he started there. So in the last 15-20 years, he's focusing more and more there. Now I think he's full-time there. And trying to preserve the tradition. So Albarello, everything is spontaneous winemaking, but he's using steel, not cement or cask like the others for this wine. This is his entry wine, Etna Rosso. Then he has a couple of other more premium where there he uses oak. Here only steel, but very long aging, 18 months. So Federico Graziani, famous man in Italy, now very much spoken about this project, is on the northern slope in Castiglione is the main village, small town. Locations of the vineyards are mostly Passo Pisciaro and Monte La Guardia, which is a bit more on the western side. So on the limit, on the edge, between 650-800 meters. Barolo Mascalese is the main grape here, as I said in the introduction last time, for all of them. but they are all three a bit different, because there is the Arello Cappuccio in small percentages. Someone is doing 100% Arello. So here we have 90% Arello Mascalese, 10% Arello Cappuccio, 13% alcohol, so a bit cooler at that 700-800. For the entry wines, usually they are more on the 500-600. That's why even the alcohol is 13. So let's go for the tasting. Classic color. So as I hinted, Etna Rosso is comparable to Pinot Noir from Burgundy. The color is the first thing. Is light ruby, not intense. Immediate, impactful fruit. Yes, I was saying about the vines. So the heritage of old vines is huge for most of the wineries. But of course, in the entry wines, they don't use those. Those are mostly in the single vineyards. So in this case, we have very little old vines. Majority are quite young. For Graziani, is up to 20 years old. But as I said, Albarello style, while the others are not. It's one of the few places where you have quite a few hectares of pre-phylloxera, so 100 plus, 120 plus years old vines, and many 50, 70, 80. So that is a big heritage, giving a lot of depth and complexity to the wines. Not in this case, as I said. Only here we have 50 years old wines. The other two, here 20 maximum, here not declared. I think they have older, but it's not specified. So after the fruit, some spice, some Mediterranean herb. The mineral, considering that it's only still, the spices should be very little. Even the aging is only 3 years, so it's not that much to make already the tertiary notes very present. So should be very focused on the fruit and elegance case. But here you have this dark fruit, then you have these herbal notes, this touch of spice, a bit of ethereal also, some gamey, more than ethereal maybe. Very pleasant. So already the notes give a good complexity, especially for a still aged wine. But on the palate, it's a surprise, honestly. He is already quite famous, so I was expecting something good, but I didn't expect this complexity. Yeah, now the gamey, the leathery is marking more. Very strange, so young. And the palate, juice, the fruit, and then the mineral, the freshness, quite well balanced. The tannins are gentle, changing a lot on the nose. Complexity is very good for the no oak aging. Yeah, the tannin is there. You feel it. It's still a young wine. It's perfect in matching the food, white meat, poultry, the famous pig from Nerodi in Sicily, which is another story compared to the normal pork. Even some red tuna steak can fit, but I would stay more on the meats or rich pastas than seafood. The tannin is firm but elegant, but well balanced. The palate, filling the mouth. So besides the pairings, the price, that is the issue. As I said, he's very famous already. Very tiny, just few hectares. I think he's not making more than 20,000, 30,000 bottles at the moment. So this one I paid in Italy about 35 euros. So the most expensive of all, by far. His top wines are crazy expensive, but seems that it's worth it. Still changing. The wines were opened just a bit earlier. It's not crude single vineyards, very old. So of course they need a bit of breathing, but not that much. So it's nice to see also how they change in the glass. Overall, it's a very good wine. Elegant, complex, already quite balanced, and with a huge aging potential, which is also a surprise considering no oak aging, because even the micro oxygenation that you have in the oak, I don't know if you are aware of that. Anyway, the oak maturation helps in the maintaining, besides the tannins from the oak, even the micro oxygenation to give more longevity to the wine. So this is a great surprise, and I'm very happy of it. So great start of this tasting that I feel a lot, as I said, in the whites, because I love Etna wines. Let's start with the second one, Carranco, Etna Rosso, Villa dei Baroni 2020. So this is something particular. Borgogno, the famous family of the Barolo, made a cooperation with the Tornatore family, which is one of the small historical families on Etna, and they created this project. Quite new, but is already well rated. So I was curious to see what they are able to do. They are also in the same area of Federico Graziani. Castiglione is the village, but the locality is Carranco, which is a contrada. I didn't know before. I never had any wine from there. So they have majority there. They declare old vines. So in this one should be 50 years old vines used. All from that area around the winery, apparently. All the websites don't give too many details, especially on the winemaking. Even the macerations, I don't know. This one, for example, the color is lighter than the others. I said 2020, 13.5 alcohol. It is 500 meters altitude, so the lowest part on the northern slopes. And so a bit more alcohol. Older vines, and here they do cement, so traditional fermentation, and then about a year of big casks, Slavonian casks. So this is the traditional approach of the winemaking. The color is, I think the maceration is shorter, so the skin contact. So I said it's a new project from these two families. Borgogno is historical, so I think they will do things seriously. I don't know the size at the moment. Graziani, as I said, few hectares, so it's still very tiny. This one is, I guess, a bit bigger, because if they start this kind of project, they may have bought already several hectares. The plantations now are not in alberello style, so another difference. The traditional winemaking, but they don't declare any spontaneous fermentation, so I guess select the yeast, and is spurred cordon, the plantation, so conventional style, quite elegant actually on the first impact. More delicate. Graziani, surprisingly, besides elegance, maybe I didn't mention, I talked about the complexity more, but elegant and with a good complexity. Here is more delicate. The delicate fruit and the spirit also. The mineral, not smoky. The spice is not that much, surprisingly. Okay, the big Slavonian casks are big, are used for many years, so they don't give much spiciness, by a touch for sure. And this is 2020, so even the refinement in bottle should give already a bit more notes of spiciness or Mediterranean herbs, but so far it's not marking much. On the palate is full, smoother than Graziani. 1 year or more also probably helps. Maybe the oak can help in that, in smoothening. So the tannin is very gentle, more than Graziani. but is a bit less persistent in a way. Now on the nose is coming out more spicy. Yeah, it's more delicate, more structured alcohol at least, but it's more delicate both on the nose and on the palate. If you want, the palate is a bit rounder, still good acidity, the mineral, but more balanced. So a touch more elegant and delicate than Graziani, but Graziani more complexity, more verve in a way, we can say, a bit more impactful and more vibrant, while here is a bit more roundness. 1 year more for sure, as I said, has a bit of influence in this, but is also the style of the wine. So let's go for the third one. So Murgo Tenuta San Michele Etna Rosso 2019 was very successful. Their Bianco, so I was quite impressed. They are historical, unlike the others, and they came up lately with the quality. They use oak, even for the white, if you remember from the other video, or if you are gonna watch it. So even here, of course, oak, big cask also in this case. They also don't have Albarello plantation. They are on the eastern side of the Volcano. All the plantations are there in Espalier style, so also conventional. 500 meters, so the same as Carranco. 13.5 alcohol. This is 2019, so it's quite aged for an Etna Rosso, but they don't have cruise, so that is their top. The color is more lively than Carranco, so I guess maceration a bit longer. They don't give much. They give less details than everyone on the winemaking, just that they use the casks. There is fruit right away, red and dark fruit, spicy, a good mineral, but the spicy here is marking more and is not the Mediterranean. It's more tobacco. Let's see other things. So I guess the even in the white the oak gave a touch. So even here I guess quite sweet note now. Interesting the spiciness changing. Some vineyard or gamey notes also here, like in Graziani. The tannin is very firm here still for 19. Wow, 5 years old. Quite surprising. Much more alive the tannin. So this for sure needs food. Carranco's in a way is being more gentle. You can enjoy it itself. This one is the oldest, 5 years old, but the tannin is still firm and it's very bone dry. So here you need food, absolutely. Even something richer, honestly, with this tannin, which of course is not that evident in Graziani, also being no oak. Here you can go with beef also. So firm tannin, very dry, mineral, fresh. So the palate is more than the others, keeping salivating. So the great wine for food pairing and good depth, probably even more than Graziani. Of course, oak, longer aging, all help in the complexity, in the depth. Then there is the point of the vineyards, because the older wines give better depth and complexity. In that sense, I would have expected more from Carranco, because declared only them are 50 years vineyards. Tenuta San Michele and Murgo should have also quite old as they hinted, but they don't specify. But the wine tells me that they have older vines. The depth, the complexity, besides the winemaking style, yeah, changing. Now is some ethereal also notes. You can say, besides no smoking even here, but that you don't have the Mediterranean herbs, at least so far. It's more on spicy, gamey, and these kind of things, some ethereal. But complexity is very good. Carranco and Murgo are more similar price in Italy, of course, about 25, 27 there. As I said, this one is the most expensive, even if it's the youngest. Carranco, being new, still is already having some markets, but not a lot. I don't know exactly how many years they started the winery, at least few, because few vintages already available. Any market in Europe I saw available. For Murgo is historical, but is an newcomer in the last few years. Is a surprise even today, not just in the white tasting, even in the reds. And they still don't have many markets abroad. So that is a bit of a handicap. I'm sorry guys, but I was happy to have this discovery today because it's all new for me and newer things, different, but it's important, remember, besides the winemaking, big cask or not, an Etna, like a Pinot Noir, need at least 2-3 years. If it's 22, it's too young. So you need a bit older. So I was happy to find 21, 20 and 19. So it's the surprise, I think, remains Murgo. Now going back on the fruit, very, very nice, very nice. This one is the most gentle and rounded, but in a way the one that is giving less emotions, even to keep with my name on the channel. And this was a confirmation of what I had, surprised in a way, because being just still aging, I didn't expect that complexity, the elegance, yes, but not that complexity and depth, being also not old vines. So overall, very nice tasting, all highly recommended, especially if you are a Pinot Noir guy, if you like elegance, complexity, and I see even with this tasting that the standards are quite high. In many regions you had the problem, some wineries commercial, very low quality compared to the others. Here, of course, no one is huge, they are all small to medium, but that is the characteristic of Etna. You go quite safe, both in whites and reds. It's tough to find very low quality wines. Today is a confirmation, but here we have some very high, all around 90, of course. As I said, I don't like to give ratings for respect also to them, but some are well above 90, and it's still not single vineyard wines. So I hope you enjoyed, guys. Also for me it was very interesting. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, follow us, comment as usual, and see you next time with other great trips and tastings. Salute!